This is the Stabby Road Podcast.
Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of the Stabby Road Podcast. I am your host, Stabby Tech Josh. To my right is...
Sonia Harcourt.
To her right is...
Rob Graydon.
To his right is...
TJ Kiss.
Thank you for being a guest host this
Thank
month.
you for guesting with us, TJ.
Thank you. Anytime.
You know us, you love us. Welcome back to another episode of Stabby Road, where this week we're talking about Halloween-ish movies. Vaguely Halloween, the holiday feeling movies, which is really just an excuse for us to do movies we've wanted to talk about for a minute. Before we do that, I have some copy to read.
Very exciting news.
Yeah, we are the official podcast for the Scared for Your Life Film Festival. So if you are interested in seeing some sick horror movies, some sick indie horror films, come check it out. You can check us out at... Is there a website? That's not in the copy. There's no website in the copy.
You have read zero of the copy. Zero of the copy was read. I watched his eyes stare directly at the camera.
We're going to read the copy right now. Are you a horror filmmaker? Do you have a bloody horror short under 30 minutes long? Are you a screenwriter with a killer script that's under 30 pages? Well, listen up. The Stabby Road Podcast is partnered with the Scared for Your Life Horror Film Festival happening this December 13th at the Cinema Arts Center in Huntington, Long Island. It's a great way to get your film seen on the big screen and to meet and network with other horror filmmakers. Go to Film Freeway, that is Film Freeway, F-I-L-M, Freeway, FREEWAY.com to the Scared for Your Life page and submit your film or screenplay.
Use promo code STABBY2025 for 20% off your submission fee.
Stabby, all capital letters, STABBY 2025
For 20% off
your submission fee.
Beautifully written
Nicely
copy
done.
by
Yes.
copywriter Rob, delivered terribly by Josh. No, I'm just kidding. Great job.
And you can check them out on social media. Life is spelled L-I-I-F-E. Scared for Your Life on all social media platforms, I presume.
Yes.
And if you submit your horror short, there will be a live table read on the day.
Horror short screenplay, by the way.
Short horror screenplay. We will have a live reading of the screenplay the day of. And that live reading will live here on the Stabby Road Podcast. So if you want your short film live read here on the Stabby Road Network,
He's so cool.
please submit.
So freaking cool.
Thank you. I'm trying.
And I can't.
Sorry, it is.
He can talk
effortless.
and he looks good.
I'm trying
Yes.
0% right now. We are talking about Hard Candy. This is my pick for the Halloweenish movies.
Halloweenish, sweet tooth.
It's got candy in the title.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It works.
Halloween in the
Halloween
title.
coded.
There's
Yeah.
It's movie, suspension of disbelief, candy, Halloween. It works.
vaguely
We're fine.
Little Red Riding Hood-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know is not intentional because they shot it and she had an orange hoodie and they made it red. in
Yes,
post.
correct. That's correct.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
Yeah. This is a sick movie.
In many ways.
I don't even know how to start talking about this, so I'm going to pass this off. We're going to go around the room. Sonia, what are your thoughts on this? Had you seen this before? I've never seen this before, but I wanted to for years.
I was on the Patrick Wilson train long before he got popular because I'm a theater nerd.
Yeah.
And that's how he...
Well, I knew him from the comic book world as
from
Night
Watchmen?
Owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
when I was a little guy, I knew Patrick
Gotcha.
Wilson.
Yeah, Phantom of the Opera obviously was like sparked my curiosity and obsession of him. And so yeah, I think I got this on DVD at the Virgin Megastore in Times Square like not long after it came out. And I loved it. It was definitely one of my favorite dark, and I love a story. I think we've talked about this on the before. I really like small worlds, limited characters, and just watching what happens between those people and the development. And this is just, it's that slow burn with crazy character arcs. And and it goes in some pretty dark places that are ballsy to go to, and not a lot of people would.
Yeah.
And they pull it off pretty well, I think. And I like for like at least the first half of the movie, like, he's kind of creepy, but you're like, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just a lonely. They play that angle for as long as they can.
You are pretty off the bat, like first shot. Sure, this guy's a creep.
No,
because you know his intentions. At least.
The IMing is
yes,
but then like I like that they play off of the he's hot.
Yeah.
So then you meet him in person and he's charming, and it's like, well, maybe they play up the like maybe he's not that bad.
Yeah.
For as long as they can.
He does such a great job of making you get really close to that point where you're like, this guy is the most disgusting person in the world, but he doesn't take you over there. So there's just something as it's going that is disgusted as you are with what he's doing.
He brings humanity to it in a
Wildly.
way.
Yeah.
That is
it's
like
crazy.
Yeah.
He's just that charming and that talented of an actor. Like I could talk about Patrick Wilson all fucking day. Like in my opinion, my humble opinion, the reason the Conjuring movies are so popular is just because of his chemistry, him and Vera. I think that's 100%. Like that's why I watch those movies.
Yeah.
Their chemistry
literally
is
the only
everything.
good thing about those movies.
I would. I don't care what the movie's about. If they're in it, I want to watch it. Like,
yeah, they're both great.
They're so good together too. But yeah, when did this come out?
2006.
My God. Okay,
I
I was in college. Yep.
2005.
2005. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. So then I would have gotten it.
I was 5.
Oh God. I just graduated high school.
I had just graduated college.
This movie is now 20 years old.
I had applied for AARP.
But this was back in the day where it took a long time before, when movies were released in theaters, it took a while before it came out on physical media.
Yes.
So yeah, 2006 would be like, that was my first year living in New York.
It did actually come out in 2006.
Oh, okay.
It had like a festival run in 2005.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep. But yeah, I was working Broadway. Virgin Megastore would be where I would go and kill some time in between shows, and that was one of. I think I spent more. That was not like the dollar bin. That was since it was new, I splurged on that one. But no regrets. I still have it. And it's one of those that I want to tell people about it because I'm excited about it and I want to share it with people. But you really do have to kind of pick your audience.
Yeah.
For this one.
Yeah, you recommend this to the wrong person and you're never talking to them again.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's one of those I keep like. When we started talking about this particular theme, when we had our Zoom meeting, I was really excited that like other people wanted to do this one.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's part of.
I mean, it's up there with a lot of like French
horror
film. I mean,
yes.
it doesn't feel like an American
I would agree.
film.
I would agree.
I mean, it has American talent, but even the David Slade, I believe, is British. The director, like it feels like a European film.
Yeah,
especially
totally.
from this era. It plays a lot similarly to the French New Extremity.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it could be an offshoot of like a High Tension or something like that.
Read my mind. And the cinematography is
holy.
gorgeous.
I'm going to talk for like 20 minutes straight about that.
I figured.
We're going to dive into that. That was a revelation. The cinematography in this movie was
gorgeous.
Incredible.
Every shot is like a painting. It's
I was already like, after this movie, we were sitting and looking at some scenes from our feature, and I was already like, how can I tweak some of the colors to sort of go into that direction a little bit?
Cool.
Yeah,
Rob?
yeah.
Rob, your thoughts? Had you seen it before?
No, I haven't. No, Josh and I watched it together. I love. It's hard to say love, but I'm always intrigued by films that make me conflicted. You know what I mean? Because here is a person who is clearly a pedophile. Here is a person who probably deserves what was promised would happen to him. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a human element in you that doesn't want that to happen because you could just it's interesting because the movie could be triggering for different types of people for different types of reasons.
Absolutely, yeah.
And to me that's not an easy thing to accomplish. To have you sort of torn throughout the whole film as to how you should be feeling.
Yeah.
And that to me was the best part of the film. This level of of confusion as to what you should be feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
I
know?
think, that plays into the sort of like non-American feel, right? Like that is a very like
yeah.
you'll get that where you'll look at it and you go, this isn't clear cut who I
No.
should be rooting for,
Yeah.
who's the bad guy, or
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, yes, he did all these bad things and probably deserves the outcome, but
like,
I
could he
still
be saved?
feel
Is there something?
Not even could it be saved. I just feel bad for the guy, even though. Like his ending, which we're not going to spoil yet, but his ending is probably deserved.
Yep. Yep.
I still felt bad
Yep.
when it
Yeah.
happened.
Yep.
Because up until Elliot opens the safe that's in the rock garden,
Yeah. Yes. There's not.
you're not
Yes, there's
100%
still-
You do
sure
not know
Yep.
exactly.
where everyone actually stands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the IM, like you said, the instant messaging in the beginning is gross, but there's like, is he as bad as she's making him out to be?
Yeah.
Her character, and like you said, until she opens that safe, you,
Yeah, and Haley's a wildly interesting character.
such an interesting character. I did love that they made a very, very smart 14-year-old, as
Right.
if that's like
Yeah.
unheard of or something.
Right.
Like the, yeah.
Well, and at one point while they were filming, the executives wanted her to admit that she was actually 18.
Right.
And like everybody like flipped
They-
out.
they-
We're like,
they-
well, that destroys the whole purpose
Right.
of
Yeah.
the movie. That makes all
Yeah.
of this. Then she's just another adult extracting revenge.
Right,
This is not.
right.
This is not a child
Right.
flipping the tables on a predator.
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Which
no,
is
that
like
would
the whole point.
that would
Yeah.
have ruined it. Yeah, 100%.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, sorry. So I
No,
had
please,
never
your
seen
turn.
this.
Yes,
I had
please.
no idea what I was getting into.
Same.
Oh, I
same.
love
And
it.
I had to stop this movie, not because of me, because of exterior things, because I had to start watching and then I had to stop. I have children. And I stopped it when about 20 minutes in, they're sitting on the couch. And at this point, when I had to walk away, I'm still assuming that something horrible is going to happen to Haley.
Ah.
And then when I got back to it and I hit play, it's literally the moment that Patrick Wilson's character starts to use it. And so I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What is about to happen?
did I
here?
miss
This
something?
is the same movie? What's going on?
Yeah.
And so that's when I went from being like, I don't know about this, to being like, oh, I kind of can't wait to see where this is going to go
That's
now.
Yeah.
cool.
And then also getting to the point where I'm like, I kind of don't wish that this is going where I think it's going to go right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie was amazing. Like really, really, really good. Again, it's tough of it. Parts of it are tough to watch on both sides. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really feel like I'm feeling bad for this? Like you said, pedophile.
Right.
We don't care about spoilers, right? Is about to get his proverbial balls chopped off, and you think it actually happens and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Which I thought you were making a pun before when you said they go balls out and then they pull it
Did
out
I
or
say
something
it?
like that. You
Did I
said
say
in the very
balls out?
beginning. You didn't use ball. It's ballsy what they
Ballsy,
do, but
that
they
I-
pull it off is what you said, and I was like, is she making a pun? Here?
Oh, that's why you looked at me like that. Oh
I
man,
did, yes.
I wish I was that witty. No, that was happenstance, but I'll take
Don't
it.
do what I'm doing. Play it cool. You got it the whole
I mean,
time.
cut that out. Yeah, that was totally deliberate.
what she meant.
Exactly. We'll cut that part out. We'll admit.
This is
The-
a cool couch over
The
here.
castration scene
Oh God.
was
I was like.
I was gonna say I'm curious to, as the dudes in the room, what that was like watching
not
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Not fun at all. Very much not enjoyable. Very much scary.
Yeah.
Probably the most frightening thing I've watched in
Yeah.
a film.
I think Josh could test. You watched me.
I
I
wasn't
had-
watching you. I, was
my
curled
legs-
up in a ball.
My legs were crossed twice, and that's not humanly possible. You know what I mean? They looked like it looked like a fresh. You know, like right before you put a pretzel in an oven. You know what I mean? That's what my legs look like. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, obviously I can't understand, but I can empathize. It was like the Saw scene in the first Terrifier,
Yes.
as a woman
Oh,
watching,
I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where you're
Yes,
just
that's actually the best comparison I think you
Yeah.
could probably
physically,
make.
viscerally
Just
uncomfortable.
yes,
Yeah.
like the worst case scenario. Like,
Yeah.
please God, I don't
Anything
even
but
want this
that.
to fake happen in a movie right now. Like,
Yeah.
to a horrible person. But yeah,
I'm curious to see how, Rob, you can maybe do some magic and post if I piss anybody off, but I don't. Again, no. On the topic of like the struggle with empathizing with
Yes.
a sexual predator.
Yes.
there is so much like that the whole monologue he gives while he's on the table about his aunt and like why he thinks maybe that's the way he is and like why he's attracted to children now because of that traumatic childhood experience. There is there are no resources out there for like people who know they have this problem and want to fix it.
Yeah.
So, because we have no empathy, right? There's like no, which we shouldn't. There should be a zero tolerance policy, obviously, but there's like nothing preventative, really.
I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
It's because we talk about Mr. Gigi. He has that series, The
yes,
Predator Chronicles.
the Predator Chronicles,
It's sort of him recapping a lot of To Catch a Predator.
And riffing on them.
And riffing on them, which could you imagine the post-credit scene where Chris Hansen steps in and he's like, wait, I should have stepped in 30 minutes ago. But no, and so it got me thinking, I was like, well, what, because he talks about this a lot in that too, of like, well, what do you do? And I think there's, and it's not talked about, there is a difference between empathy and co-signing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I think we do need to have empathy, and I think that's what a movie like this allows for. It's one of the great things horror allows for is empathy for dark people. Yeah. There's a great Stephen King quote that I think about often. He says, the hardest thing for new writers to learn isn't proper sentence structure or pieces of adverbs, adjectives, any of those. It's that sometimes a monster will help an old lady across the street.
Ooh, yeah, that's
and I
true.
think like we do struggle with that.
Yeah.
Of like, we want to assume that a bad person is bad all the way through and a good person is good all the way through.
Right.
And we don't want to admit that
people are complicated.
Yeah, and
this is both of them.
Mm-hmm, yes. Is she actually entirely justified? Like you do go through that.
Because here's the thing about Elliot's character, and that is they never have an actual motivation for why she's doing what she's doing.
It's true. We never find out.
And that's the kind of thing.
Was her character molested?
Is she a serial
maybe?
killer also? Is
Right.
she just
Because
going
that's the
around
kind of thing
doing
you see,
this?
like that's
like
the thing,
vigilante style.
Yeah.
that's the sort of thing that makes people like Michael Myers scary, or
not
that
knowing their motive.
You don't know where they're coming. That just that they're doing it.
Yep. The minute you explain something like that, it loses its.
And their performance is so good because they're clearly hurt by something.
Yes.
You just don't know ever what it is.
Yep.
It was interesting because my thought was that because she kept saying my sister will give me a ride, and I kept thinking that the woman that was killed was her was going to be her sister.
See, that's sort of where my mind went.
Yeah.
And
in some ways, I'm glad that didn't happen because
it was a little off.
Because if I could be ahead of it,
in
then,
that direction a little
right.
bit, that could have been the case.
Yeah.
Sure.
It did seem personal,
but it's much scarier if it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
but
how
that's it.
does this character know about, first of all, the murder of Donna?
Yeah.
And that this photographer, like, how did she find it? Because then we find out at the end, right before he hangs himself, that she found his partner and killed him too.
There was a whole other movie that happened before this started.
Yep, where this is not the first time she's done this. And she managed to not only convincingly play this character for these pedophiles to bait them, she somehow found them. Like did she just randomly stumble upon like a headline and get intrigued by it? This unsolved murder?
Sorry, I wanted to circle back to something when you're done.
No, yeah, just the not knowing what really happened to Haley and why she does what she does makes her such an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't seem like this is something she's done only one time before,
or not even two.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, like
this is
her thing.
Yeah. That's a very good possibility that this is something that she just is doing.
And she's right when when Patrick's like, you're going to leave a clue, you're going to leave something. She's like, how hard do you think the police are really going to look for me?
Right.
I'm gift wrapping a pedophile who was involved in a murder, an unsolved murder. You think they're really going to come looking for me that hard?
Right. Yeah. She leaves all the evidence out.
Yep.
She tells him obviously that she's not going to do that.
It's so good.
Smart play.
I love at the end that she says it or not right before you hear the neck.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
the
alive.
last thing he hears.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
So dark.
Again, she's done that before.
Exactly.
All right?
Well, that's it. I
Probably
remember
on the third or fourth one, she was like, damn, I keep saying it. They're not hearing it. I don't think they're hearing it.
They're not hearing my murder quip.
Yeah, this is ruining the whole thing.
there was an old series on HBO it was not a series. It was actually a reality thing called The Iceman Chronicles or The Iceman
fantastic.
Confessions.
Ooh.
And I remember, and it's about this mafia hitman who's
They made a
behind
movie
prisons.
about it, too.
They did make a movie about him. I
Oh.
actually believe it. I thought the series is infinitely more chilling, just because of the guy.
It's actually him.
Is the actual guy talking about.
Oh, okay, cool. I need to
but
check this out.
I remember them. There was an episode where the doctor was talking about. There was a doctor who analyzed him, and he was talking about all these things he did. You know, how he like murdered a bunch of guys and this, and fed them to rats and all this sort of stuff. And he said his heartbeat never rose.
Wow.
And I kept thinking about that during all of Elliot Page's performance. Because if you notice, like even when she's performing the surgery, it's not the surgery that's upsetting her in any
It's
way.
her demeanor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost, and it's not. It's almost not like she's done it before. She seems almost anxious. She's like, oh, I haven't done this before. I really kind of want to do this, but not in a. It's weird. It's not even in a sadistic way.
No, it's just
It's a curiosity.
Yes.
There's this weird, almost childlike curiosity, but at the same time, she's clearly aware of what she's doing.
Yeah.
That makes it so unsettling. And that ambiguity to me is really what sold it.
Yeah. Agreed. Because she very rarely loses control. She
No.
has like a moment or two where like she panics, but she
Well, it's only when the plan goes a little bit awry.
Yeah.
exactly. But
That's
she
the only time. Because any other time that she even shows emotion, I think it's all fake.
100%.
She just
yeah.
totally, it's all of her plan, her acting.
100%. Yep. And even when it goes awry, she's only off for like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And then she like
She recomposes.
she recomposes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she gets it figured out. Yeah, it's very eerie.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were going to circle back to before? I'm
No,
sorry.
not even
I'm
close.
sorry. Yeah, I this is just something I've always been really fascinated with. There was an episode of Law and Order SVU where actually Josh Hutcherson was like the guest character, and he was I think like a 15-year-old kid who went to Olivia Benson and like was like, I think I'm a pedophile and I don't know what to do. And that's where it became this like there's nothing that,
Oh, that's
you know, the whole argument of like, well, wait, we just have to wait for him to ruin a child's life forever before we can do anything about it. There's
Right.
no like preventative, because we have no empathy generally for these people. There is
Right.
no preventative care. And the irony being, if we did offer like even just the slightest bit of humanity and we could figure out a way to treat it, who knows? Because obviously psychology and sex are incredibly complicated.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this a lot, and I think it even plays like I've talked about this on the show. Like, I do not believe in evil. I don't believe in pure good and pure evil. It's like it's either like you're mentally unwell and that's why you're acting that way, and there's resources for that, or you're making choices that are rationalized in some form or another.
right.
And I think, when we start to put things in boxes of that's pure evil, one, it lets it fester. We remove empathy from it. It makes it worse.
Yep.
And it also allows us to be able to do those things because I'm not evil. So I can't do an evil thing. So therefore, anything I do, I can justify.
Right.
And I think that allows us to do horrible things. You see countless atrocities, get sort of
It's the
justifies.
the
It's
dehumanizing factor. It's
And I
dehumanization.
think-
Making
I
something
think-
inherently good or evil is dehumanizing.
right. And
Yeah.
I think it's problematic that we don't have resources because you have, I mean, you have resources if you say I want to harm people, or I want to harm myself. There are resources for you, and I think that we need to and that's should be the justice system.
Yeah.
Right, is an impartial
right.
sort of, well, we're gonna impart justice here, and to me, I think that looks like preventative care and some sort of medical care that can allow for rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Without having to harm somebody.
Exactly.
Else,
Without
and
having to like essentially ruin a child's life first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then react.
yeah, and it seems, I think the fact that it's so, which with understanding, right? So
Of
sort
course. It's hard.
dehumanized and I mean, look, for God's sakes, these guys are like even in prisons are like considered the worst. You know, they get the worst treatment.
Yeah.
And it's understandable. Like, I'm not trying to downplay
No,
what
and
people
same
are doing.
here. I know. I'm sure
At
somebody is
all.
going to hate
Yeah.
me for starting this conversation, but
No,
like,
but like that is.
I'm not like at a certain point you are making decisions,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you are like actively.
Harming people.
guilty.
Yes, absolutely.
But I feel like early on there has to be
some sort of preventative.
like there was some kind of trigger or indicator. I don't personally believe you're born a pedophile. I don't know. That seems really just anti-evolution, if anything, maybe.
Look,
The
like
psychology,
I've said,
but who knows? It's complicated,
it's either
obviously. But
choices you're making,
Yeah.
or there is a switch in your brain, and you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know what the research is. I haven't done any
Exactly.
sort of.
It
I'm
doesn't-
sure there's some.
I'm sure there's
It
some.
exists,
I
but-
would love to
but
learn
that's
about
one
it.
of the beauty. You know, I get asked a lot because I, you know, work with either film people who aren't into horror or people who know me who aren't into horror, and like, why do you love horror so much? And I'm like, because you can talk about things like this. You can't have a non-horror movie that deals with these subjects.
Yeah.
You can barely have a horror movie that deals with these subjects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think you sort of need to be able to have these conversations.
Horror allows
Yeah.
for the people are not inherently good or evil necessarily. It allows room for that where
Yeah.
it's like yeah, how many other movies could you empathize with a character like this?
Yeah.
And that is, in essence, what movies are, right? They're empathy machines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you're being put into somebody else's shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just as a sexual being, for me, it has always been a very interesting conversation because I can't imagine not being able to be sexually gratified as somebody who does porn and like my entire living is sex work and like sex is a huge part of my life. The idea of not being able to ever be gratified is intense. That is a very intense and it's obviously selfish. And I am not saying in any way it justifies it. It just fascinates me,
Yeah.
you know, of like what could we do to prevent it? That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it needs to be talked about more, and I'm sure there's people advocating. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky subject.
It is. It's very obviously it's complicated is an understatement. But
Because again, I mean, my belief is firmly, you know, especially having worked so closely with children, that these are like the worst human beings on earth.
of course.
But yeah, you know, I think.
You're making choices at a certain point that are going to
But as an evolved society that's not monkeys with sticks, like,
Exactly.
we need to be able to have empathy and care and things for the worst of us.
in
know?
order to understand something, you have to have some kind of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Right.
that's part of it is there because people aren't understanding, people don't want to understand. They just want to punish.
Right.
And I'm like that's not going to stop it though.
Interestingly enough, and this is actually circling back to something I think Josh had said, and we're just realizing it now in terms of a really interesting writing choice, in terms of what we talk about how we can, if we're not empathizing something and we're dehumanizing it, it's a real interesting choice. I realized that Elliot, and we don't know again because it's clearly not her dad. She keeps talking about her dad, but. That she carries these medical books
Yeah.
and a medical video on how to castrate someone, because those two things are the front line of dehumanizing of not looking at just looking at a subject matter versus a human being.
Right, like the body versus the soul.
Yeah.
Talking about them like cattle. And
Yes.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's as we're doing this conversation, I just thought of that as an
Yeah.
interesting writing choice to include.
It kind of helps
for-
her dehumanize him in a way.
That's exactly it. That's
Yeah,
precisely it.
good
So
point.
that he's not. It's easier to do what she's
Yep.
doing because, again, I found it so disturbing that she was almost kind of looking forward to it as
Mm-hmm.
like so almost like starting a hobby,
Right.
or the way one would had never baked a particular type of cake
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
before.
she's trying to make brownies from
Yes.
scratch
Exactly.
for the first time.
For the
Like,
first
I can't
time.
wait to start that. Let's crack
and
some eggs.
so
Yes.
these are writing tools from a writer's standpoint. These are tools that have been handed to her to help her to go down that road.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. It helps inform her character so much more, and kind of. I really like that because that's how people kill people all the time, is dehumanizing them.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we talked about this a little bit, I think, in the Bring Her Back episode, but I think I think it was only the two of us.
I didn't. Yeah,
And Manny.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Manny.
Manny Serrano.
We'll just sit out.
We'll just we'll play
sit
that
out
one
this
back.
couple minutes. All right?
Run that one back. The Bring Her Back conversation on good and evil. Yeah, I do want to pivot a little bit and talk about the cinematography.
Oh yeah, no, please, let's. It's gorgeous.
Because holy fuck, like every shot. I mean, even for like the first 20 minutes is a close up.
Oh my god, the
Which-
tiramisu shot. Immediately I was like, what am I getting myself into here?
Adore, heavy close-ups.
Yep.
I mean, when we were shooting our movie, it was like we were shooting our wides and our mediums, but I made sure our close-ups were great because I wanted that's where I want to spend so much time. Because I mean, forget who said it, but there was some. It wasn't Tom Savini, but some filmmaker was like, the best special effect you've got is the human eye and the human face.
Yeah, James Cameron talks about that.
Yeah,
also.
it's just like,
Brian
so
De
to
Palma.
spend so
Yeah.
much time in close-ups is awesome. And then visually, it has just such this gross look. Watching some of these movies, I was like, and I'm not one of those people who's like, ragging on modern cinematography. I don't think it's as dire and bad as people are making it out to be, but I want movies to look gross and extreme again. You don't get these sort of extreme looks where it's like harsh blacks and bright whites and
like it looks like a movie.
yeah. But it looks harsh. It matches the subject matter, and you were getting subjective coloring, which I don't even think of a time I've seen it where you'd get a shot where it was warm and then it would shift into cool colors, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or that moment when he managed to break himself free a little bit
Yeah.
right before she throws the plastic over his face to
Yes.
knock him out. It temporarily goes black and white.
Yeah.
And you almost don't
Yeah.
even realize it.
And there was another
Yeah,
I didn't catch
sequence.
that part.
I did not realize.
Yeah.
I don't remember which sequence, but they kicked up the saturation a little more for a
That I
beat, and it was
noticed,
Yeah.
just like I am the movies I love to watch and the movies I love to make are so hyper subjective. We're actually talking about this right now while writing of how do you balance each character's perspective and who's driving what, and I tend to really stick into one person's perspective and motivate the camera work that way of we're really gonna sit in what this person's perspective, and to push it even a step further into the coloring. I never even, and I'm learning to be a colorist. I am a colorist. It's like, and even I had never considered using color in this way.
Yeah.
And it was so eye opening of how you could use it to make a subjective choice.
There's a
like
great
that.
there's a great thing that they do, and that's when we start in on the gelding sequence. And he starts pleading. He starts trying to make his case, and all these. And if you watch it closely, it gets grainier and grainier.
Yes,
the
they
grain
really
starts
kick it
picking
up. Yeah.
And my first thought was like, "Wow, that's so effective. Why? Why is it so effective? Why is it so effective?" If you ever get angry and stressed over a short period of time, your vision becomes very pixely and very grainy, and
That happens often, so I'm gonna try it.
yeah. But the more stressed out you get, you see those little pixels in your eyes, and I was like, I wonder.
That's really cool.
They must have really thought that through,
Yeah.
because you are now experienced what he's experienced.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's pleading for his manhood
Yeah.
in a situation where his manhood has no case.
Yep. Yeah. Seriously, this is the least. This is at you deserve this. You do.
Right.
Let's be real. You deserve this. This really harmed. This makes sure no one else is ever harmed again, and
Yeah.
you're still alive.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're he has absolutely
Right.
no case in that moment.
There, again, well, yeah, you're right. He has no case. He has this coming, and so many people will say the exact same thing. It's. I don't want to trivialize this, but I'm just trying to find the best analogy. But it's like when I go, I like hamburgers. Okay. That doesn't mean I want to see how it's made.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, yes, this guy absolutely deserves to have this happen to him. But for us to watch this procedure slow, and every now and then, like, oh, you're not ready yet.
Yeah. Oh, that was even worse.
Yeah. So it makes
Plopping
it
the
so
ice
much
down.
more anxiety
You're not numb enough.
Yeah, you're not. Let me put this back in for a second. Or I forgot about this, and you're like, geez, to the point where you're both cringing and going, just get this over with already. Again, what I was talking about in the beginning about like you're conflicted as to how you should be feeling over this scene.
She is clearly drawing it out for as long as she can because she knows this is torture, mental torture.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and you're just like, oh God, you're
to have the payoff, not have it happen. Which is even
And
Patrick Wilson is so good in that scene that I read that Elliot had to. There's a shot where Haley is turned around, and that was because he had started crying.
Oh, they cried,
and he had to turn around so that they wouldn't ruin the shot by having because characters should not be crying.
Right. Yeah.
So, but that's how effective Patrick Wilson was when he was at
his
his
screams.
most intense screaming. Yeah.
Like I don't know how he does, but he is just such an incredibly natural actor.
He's great.
He
think of a bad performance,
disappears.
like, in everything.
Like some really big name actors, like you see them and you see their name.
Yes.
Like, you see like Johnny Depp sometimes in movies, not the character. Patrick Wilson disappears.
Yeah.
And he's effortlessly
always,
a character.
I'm thinking, this to I say Watchmen. I fucking love Watchmen.
Fair.
The A-Team, even like the A-Team.
I never saw.
You never saw that?
No, I never saw that.
Who's in the A-Team?
He's
The Conjuring.
I forget the name of his
the
character
reboot?
from the CIA. Yeah, the reboot in the A-Team. Yeah.
Right.
But he's just he's
essentially
he's
the
also
villain.
in. Is he in The Conjuring and the one with the bitch kid? The fucking.
With the second one?
No, the
bitch kid.
not The Conjuring. The
Sinister?
Not Sinister. The other
Sinister
crappy
was
one.
good.
Oh.
Insidious?
Insidious.
Yes,
Is
he is
also
he's
in-
Insidious, yeah.
He's great in that.
He is incredible. He's incredible. Like, he's so charming.
Yeah.
But it's very understated.
Yeah.
Too. There's something. His choices are so understated. He's so controlled. But then I think that makes then those moments where he's screaming on the table that much more like you feel it. I can understand why they cried. That would fuck me up to have to be in the room with that kind of energy. Yeah. I probably would have needed a moment too.
I also love how everybody's sweating. I love characters that sweat.
Yes.
His hands, you see how purple they got?
Oh my God, that was such a
That was
great
real.
detail.
That's from
Oh my God,
held like that.
But I love shit like again you like
like you said,
don't
that's a
see
very
that in movies anymore.
well, like you
People
said, an
sweating.
American thing. Like it's got that European like we're not afraid to get dirty and gross vibe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we didn't have a makeup artist for Violet when we shot it, and we shot it in August in basements,
Oh.
and so like everybody's dripping sweat. And
Oh.
you look at it, and it looks great.
Yep.
I mean, everybody was suffering through it a little bit,
But it looks real.
on camera. It looks real,
Yeah.
and it like I like people that look a little gross,
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel Hollywood. It
Exactly.
It was real.
And in
Yeah.
that situation, that's the last thing he's worried about is how much he's sweating.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no.
yeah, of
You would be
course,
sweating profusely
Exactly.
if you were lying on
care.
that table
There's
there.
one shot where he like blows snot, and it's like it
Yes.
just looks gross and so sort of.
And I think that's the difference between a good actor and a great actor too. A great actor isn't afraid to go there. Like
I remember-
he's a very pretty man, but he's not afraid to get ugly.
I learned
Yeah,
this
right,
lesson
right.
on my first feature film. I remember there were two actors that we were working with in very similar roles, and I'm saying it's my brother was in one of them, but we weren't like mad close like we are now. He was just like my brother, whatever. And I remember one of the actors kept trying to change the part to make the character a good guy or more likable or more whatever, and I was like, and Jake, one of the reasons I fell in love with him as an actor and as a creative partner is he was always like, I think we should do this. And I'm like, whoa, that's way darker, or you're gonna look way worse, or I think he'd always find the angles where he looked less good too, to perform at, just
Right.
to get something that looked a little off or went a little further for the story. And I was like, that's from there on, it set the bar for me for the actor I want to work with. Like they're going to contribute to the story, not for
They're
their
not-
real.
They're not worried about an upshot giving them a double chin.
Yeah,
Right.
I just
They don't
I
care
just
about their
edited,
real.
I just edited a scene from your movie, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it is, but I will say it involved mud and bandages.
Oh my god, it's the fucking...
And it conveys exactly what you're talking about. Like Jake,
yeah,
he actually looks better in it because he's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with the
I love
with
that.
mud and
Yeah, you
bandages.
have to be
Yeah.
brave. You really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Patrick goes there, and I just love him for it.
yeah. No, I think about that a lot of like actors that are willing to sort of, and I you know, it's not like I am callous towards an actor that wants to be shot on their good side.
I
or
mean, of
whatever.
course,
I
everybody in
understand,
a
of
perfect
course.
world, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I have extra respect for an actor that is like willing to go that extra mile.
Yeah.
You know.
like if this is what's going to serve the character in the movie, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I mean, Elliot too. I don't want to underscore their performance. I just, how old were they when this was made?
They
We
were
know?
17.
God,
Yeah.
damn.
They played 14, but they were 17.
They played 14 so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sort of excited arrogance of like a 14-year-old. I mean, and even though her character, Haley's smart. There's no denying that Haley's smart.
Right.
There's still that little bit of the kind of young, I'm invincible, I know better than everyone, you can't tell me,
Yeah.
that kind of energy.
Perfect
that-
example when she's got him tied to his
Yes.
neck on the chair, and she just like you see in the last episode we were talking about, act like a Bond villain, basically just going
Yes.
over everything that's gonna happen and leaving herself open
Getting herself
to getting
closer
herself
and
caught, and
yeah.
then she gets herself in a situation, and then that's when things go haywire, and she needs to
Yeah, you're right.
figure everything out again, and then she gets it back up.
You're right. Every time the plan kind of goes awry, it's because her hubris gets in the way.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that is an essential teenage thing to portray. And they
Oh,
nailed it. They
1000%, yeah.
fucking nailed it. Like, just how, like you said, Rob, how unbelievably controlled and off-putting the vibe is. Was yeah, it cannot be understated. But the two of them together. And this must have been a very draining movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
fucking imagine.
Right? But the man, were they both champs.
Because
Like,
I've done
yeah.
like a day, 2 days where you're at this sort of intensity, and it gets rough.
Yeah.
And I've done days where it's an hour and you're doing this, and it and it's a powder keg.
Yep.
And if you're not careful,
forget even mentally or emotionally, just physically.
Yeah.
physically. Oh my!
Screaming, crying, you get dehydrated,
I-
headaches. Like,
I just acted in something. I don't act. I'm not usually an actor, and it wasn't even a tenth of the emotional sort of ask of this, and I was like, I didn't realize how physical it is. Like,
Yeah.
I was physically drained for
Yeah.
like 3 days afterwards.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
And it certainly gave me a new sort of perspective when working with actors, but watching this, I'm like, just from a production standpoint, I can't even fathom.
Right. yeah, those were long
I
days.
can't imagine.
Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
Like,
Again, his hands are like
Purple.
Barney purple.
Yeah.
And I
And
wonder
that-
how much of
real.
that is makeup
That
or
is not makeup.
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
that is real from him really being there and sitting there that long.
as somebody who has done a
Tied
lot
up.
of bondage, my guess is that he was actually tied up and then he just did press as hard as he could
To make
for
them
as
purple.
brief
To
as
get
he
them
could.
purple, yeah.
Yeah, because you can literally do very serious
Oh, yeah.
damage, obviously. In fact, like when I have done bondage shoots, like we do befores and afters, where they like ask you to like turn around, bend your knee, bend your elbow, wiggle your fingers, like make sure you have no nerve damage. So but even if it was only for a couple seconds or like a couple minutes, it still fucking hurt. And
Yeah.
but he went for it.
Yes,
he
he
went
did
for it.
all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
As an actor, I have a little bit of a difficulty sometimes with walking the line of like going too extreme method acting, where it's like your body is never going to recover from what you just did to it. Like
Yeah.
like what is it? Is it Sean Penn in like Marathon Man, where he like was
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
Dustin
Hoffman.
Hoffman.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, where he's like running laps and is like
Yeah.
on his last leg, and you're like Christian Bale going from The Machinist to Batman.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
intense.
get it, but yeah, there are things where sometimes I'm like, that's why we call it acting. You're pretending. Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yes.
you don't need to commit that wholly, but like something like that, I would want to do, I think, too, as an actor.
Yeah.
Like when we did our Horrifier parody, I asked my husband to actually tie my hands up behind my back, and that's what we got in the scene, was me actually
At
trying
least-
to get it out and getting the rope off.
I would always rather, at least when I was the little bit of acting, I was like, I would rather go for it and do it and think about it later.
Yeah.
And
When I was younger,
Yeah.
I did. As I get older, I do think a little bit more, where I see some stuff and I'm like, you could have just faked that, but all right, all right.
There's definitely stuff where you go, you don't need to.
But in
that.
something like this, I imagine that helped inform his performance as well.
yes,
Like actually
yes.
physically trying to break out of that is very different than pretending to do it and knowing that, there's a slip rope or something.
Right, yeah.
Those are very different psychological impacts, and it makes respect.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I could probably talk for another.
I feel like
coloring and
we could go on and on about this one. There's just so much to unpack, but
I really could. I probably, if you gave me like more of a heads up, I could probably talk for another 30 minutes on just the coloring alone.
yeah. Every frame is a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that actually blew me away, and it's so low budget too. Like I think I read somewhere that the coffee shop at the end, at the beginning, they filmed that at the end because they had renovated the living room of so it was all
coffee
shot
shop
at
is
that
the
one.
living room.
Yeah,
Yes.
they had like,
No way.
which is why it's all in close-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It works that it's all in close-ups just for the vibe of it.
Oh
and
my god, it works so
Yeah,
well.
but they had to shoot it that
so
way.
it was like twofold.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. No, I thought. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. That's amazing. That's what I love about not relying too much. I think we've talked about this before, where like some of the limitations breed creativity.
Yep.
And how
Yeah.
like a lot of time, like that choice, would that have been the same choice if they didn't have to do that?
Right,
If they
no,
had a
probably
separate
not.
coffee house set, would they have done all close-ups?
They probably did big wides of everything, and
And
yeah.
or who
Extras,
knows?
more
Maybe
people
they
in there,
could have.
more of a public place or something like that. Yeah.
But I doubt they would have done the whole thing like that, and then ended up informing it so well. I love moments like that.
No, I'm a huge fan of stuff like, and then again, it informs me as a filmmaker of like, oh wow, that's cool to know, and it feels like we had limitations on Violet, and
Yeah.
makes
We
you
had
feel
a-
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes you feel better.
it makes you feel better, and,
Yeah.
but you can then watch it and go, oh, I know the limitations are there, but if you design
You'll
the
never know.
sound right
Yeah.
and the intention is there, it's like
Yeah.
you can really sort of make sure that it
That's it.
fits.
It doesn't matter if you know. It's
Yeah.
whether or not your audience knows.
Yes.
Yep.
And there
You know.
are times you cheap out and the audience knows.
They'll know.
Sure,
yeah.
for sure. Oh, for sure.
Right. It's how you
but
tell
it's
your
how
story.
you sort of
Absolutely.
do it.
If you're a
I-
good director,
yeah.
filmmaker,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I directed a short this summer, and we had something happen that we didn't count on, because one of the characters is a paraplegic. He can only move his fingers a little bit,
okay,
and it's a sort of Black Mirror-esque story. And he's got these huge VR goggles on. Fine. There's something tragic that happens in his life, and there's a moment where he has to cry. And we're like, and so we're like, Tom, can you cry? He said, yeah, no problem, I'll do it. And we realized when he was crying, the tears were filling up inside the goggle. It wasn't coming down his cheek.
Oh my
So we're like, how the fuck are we gonna pull this off? And our makeup person, Jen, who Josh knows, Jen Feldy, fantastic actor and makeup artist as well.
And executive producer of Necromancer. She's
And
fantastic.
is she
Oh,
the
she's
therapist?
yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's been around forever.
Yeah.
with the
Hell yeah.
Necromancer, yeah.
Figure out a way of she thickened up like this sort of rosewater oil mixture so that she pulled it up just underneath the visor, so, and then pulled it away real fast, so it just slowly drips down his
Nice.
eye, and we're like, your eye buys it that he's crying,
Right.
Not, but if you think about it for even half a second, you're like, the fuck do those tears actually come from?
right.
But it's the thing where you have a limitation, you're running out of time, you have to come up with something that is going to work, and
That's going to be believable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and to create a living room out of, a little coffee shop
That's really cool, man.
out of your and
Out of that gorgeous like Beverly Hills looking house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
but
make
it's,
it.
you figure it's probably big enough
Yep.
to put a small coffee shop.
Yep.
You know?
So cool.
one scene I want to make sure we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
It is. I think aside from the castration, one of my favorite scenes is the Sandra Oh when the neighbor arrives and talks to
Yes.
Haley.
Yeah, oh, that's
Because
a great scene.
That is that's a microcosm of what we talked about earlier about seeing the teenage
Yes.
hubris and the confidence, and then having to. And this is the only time where she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. Right.
When it all starts unraveling, and she just has to just abandon and just basically just. That's her clue. She's like, I'm leaving the clue now. Basically, she's like, because she knows in her mind when she's talking to that the neighbor's not buying her story anymore.
Yeah.
It's completely falling
And
apart.
Sandra's performance, that when she just did it rain, that like very like
So
she
good.
knows something's off,
She's
but
so
she's still
good.
being so polite about it, and like
You
so
know,
good.
that's
I love that read.
what I love about that, casting a incredible actor like Sandra Oh in such a small part, is you get a great performance, and
Yep.
that was, you know,
No small parts.
I'm-
only small
Yeah.
actors.
you know, Tom, who, you know, my dad was just talking about
Yeah.
in his short film, he
Crying
shows up
Visor,
in my
yeah.
movie for one scene, and we were like, if we just get somebody to play this part, it's not going to have that weight. We need a great
Yeah.
fucking actor to. I mean, you show up for like two shots in our movie, but it needed to feel real and grounded, and like
Yeah.
there was a person there, you know, and like I love getting great actors
Yep.
to just be in that little part because it makes the world feel more alive and
Agreed.
more
Well, that's
there.
it. In some ways, you almost need better actors in tiny parts.
Yes, agreed.
You know, it's the whole.
Yep.
You know, not to get so deep in the acting process, but it's the whole Uta Hagen thing. You know, if you're walking into a room, you have to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, versus just materializing outside the door and opening it.
Yeah.
And someone like Tom, who plays my main character as well, it does such a great job of just researching and because he's in one scene essentially
One scene, yeah.
with yours, and he does such a great job of it.
Yeah. And again, like an actor like Sandra Oh, just like showing up for this one scene is like
And she did it primarily just because she was friends with Elliot.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, to have two great actors right there, you know,
Yep.
it could have broken the movie otherwise if you got somebody else, you know, and I think it's and also, you know, a mark of how great an actor Sandra Oh is that she would even do a part like that.
That's
you know,
where
knowing sort
Yep.
of that it's only going to be for this one scene.
Right.
that's where I'm like, that's where you really start to separate like an artist from a star.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like if Ego was no part of this.
Yes.
Like she was, if she was friends with Elliot, that's how she got like maybe shown the script, and then clearly realized like, okay, this is amazing. I want to be a part of it. I don't care how small. That's an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And she named her character. Her character in the script did not have a first name.
Oh,
And she mentioned to the director she feels like Judy, I think is the name.
That's
and the director
great.
agreed. And another executive push in. It could not get cleared because she was only there for one day, and they decided on the spot. So it couldn't get cleared by legal. So the executive like, can you just have one take where you just say Mrs. Takanato or whatever her name is?
Right.
And so she said they didn't want to do it, but they made her do it. So she did it with like this horrible southern drawl so that she knew they would not be able to use it. Then she was like, all right, that's your one take. I'm not doing it again.
that's amazing.
That's
awesome.
Good for her.
And after reading those things, when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, wow. So then I think I'm watching like The Studio with the Seth Rogen show, and there's so many moments where stuff like that happens, and I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, you're talking about The Studio?
Yes, I'm in The Studio.
I cannot talk enough about that.
That's
band.
a great
That's
show.
a whole other
Well,
conversation. But yeah,
That's a different podcast
is
for TV shows. that we do,
fucking
yes.
great. Yeah,
Stabby Drive podcast.
Stabby
Stabby
Drive.
Drive podcast, yeah.
That's awesome.
We
Yeah.
do Stabby Drive podcast is we get in the car, we get the Zoom recorder, we put all the mics and we record it in a car.
As we're driving
Actually,
around.
that's not
Yeah.
nice. That's not a bad idea.
Stabby road trip. Yeah.
Stabby
Road
road
Trip.
trip. I was
We
I
got
like
a plan
it.
of that.
I was doing a
We have to
podcast
like
plan on
it.
and
Stabby Road Trip.
I'm gonna bring this up because we filmed 3 episodes, but I don't think they're ever gonna see the light of day. But we were doing a podcast where it was just that. We were in a car driving
Yeah.
around and just talking.
That's cool. We
But
could, yeah.
we should do that for
We could do
Stabby
like road
Road.
trips
Stabby
to
road
cons
trip.
or something.
Stabby Road
Yeah.
Trip podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
All right.
like, because when we went to not Monster Mania to
Yeah, it was Monster Mania.
was it Monster Mania?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the one? Oh, I'm thinking of Monster Palooza. When we went to Monster Mania, It wasn't that far from Haddonfield, New Jersey.
I know,
You know, so we do a road trip to Haddonfield,
Yes!
looking for Michael Myers or something like that.
That'd be
great.
so much fun. Yeah, I ended up doing Monster Palooza by myself that year because I happened to be in LA.
Right, right.
That was that year, yeah. Oh, I love it. Stabby road trip.
Yep. All right. Should we do that zany?
Oh,
thing
yeah,
you
wait.
wanna talk about?
The new
The
game.
new game.
All right,
Josh
two
is
truths and a
great.
die.
So Josh is going to explain
Two
this.
truths and a die.
We're playing 2 truths and a die.
I love this.
So instead of doing just trivia,
Mhm.
we're gonna have 2 real pieces of trivia, and
Right.
my dad is gonna make up a piece of trivia, and we have to guess which one's real.
Yep.
I love it.
Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here. First piece of trivia. The screenplay's inspiration.
Bullshit. No, I'm just kidding.
The screenplay's inspiration came from Korea. Producer David Higgins had read reports of Korean schoolgirls ambushing men who surfed the internet for underage dates and later developed the story.
Too much detail. It's got to be real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
definitely real. That sounds way too real to not be real.
yeah.
The next one is.
I'd have more questions for you if that's not real. 'Cause why are you thinking
Oh yeah,
about
we
this?
gotta follow up questions.
Yeah. Some working titles were Vendetta and Snip Snip.
Oh, that's funny.
I do think that's real.
That seems.
I could buy that. Yeah.
I could. I'm on the fence on that one, but
And the third one is the movie was filmed in 18 days.
ooh. I'm gonna go with the second one was a lie.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna think.
The
Because
names.
I really
No, I
buy
think-
the 18 days.
I think Vinzetta and Snip Snip were real.
Really,
I do. I'm gonna say it's the 18 days. I think it was shorter than that.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the second one is fake with Sonya. Because I think 18 days is right, and the first one, again, if you made up
You said it was-
about
you think
the
it was
Asian
less?
I
businessmen,
think it was fewer.
we're gonna
days
have to
than
have a
that.
conversation off air. we need to have you sit down with someone.
The one that was incorrect was the first one.
What?
Shut the
The
fuck up!
screenplay was inspired from Japan, not
Oh, you
Korea.
cheeky mother!
that's- this
bullshit.
is-
You can't.
I was
right, I said
No, it's gotta
bullshit
be
in the very beginning.
You have to fully fabricate. You can't make a
fully
small-
fabricate
what
this
the
one.
fuck? Yes, you
We're
can't
all
say
in the same room.
Korea,
I'm
Japan.
That's
That's
cheating.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
Oh, we're gonna do a bet. You're gonna have
All
to
right,
cook up.
all right, I'll
We're
do
taking
another
lunch.
one.
How about-
Jesus
We're gonna do a
Christ.
lunch break after this.
You fucking
Take your
people.
whole
Wait,
lunch break.
wait,
You
wait.
fucking
Wait.
Fucking people.
Suggestion. Going forward for game,
Yeah.
we have whoever's movie it was
They make it up.
do the game.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's
All
a
right,
good
that's a
idea.
much better way.
So
Because
who's
you're
next?
more you're more, enmeshed in it. You can kind of.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair.
All right.
And the fake one has to be whole cloth fake.
Yeah.
Fully
can't-
made up. You
yeah,
can't
You
change
can't
a word
change it.
from
Yeah,
your
you can't
IMDb
change it from
trivia.
Korea to Japan.
We did. I mean, in Rob's defense, we did put him on the spot.
We gave him an hour. I
Why
guess
we
we
recorded
recorded
an
it.
episode? I
recording
would
it.
give that.
We're recording
I
an
will-
episode.
I
All
love
right.
the idea, though. I love the
Yeah,
idea.
I
Yeah,
also
sorry,
texted
yeah, so
about
whoever's-
this weeks ago.
Whoever's episode this is, do the zany thing then,
Okay.
because then you can make it up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of yet another episode of the Stabby Road podcast. If you want to watch Hard Candy right now, as of this recording, you can watch it free on Tubi, or you can which will have commercials. If you want to watch it without commercials, you can rent it for $3.99. Currently on either Apple TV or Prime. They're both $3.99 there. And that's it. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials, including YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and Butterfly thing, which I never Blue Sky, which I never fucking remember their
And
names.
Twitter, I will never call it X.
And Twitter, yeah.
Ever.
But that's it for us, folks. On behalf of Stabby Road, my name is Rob Graydon.
I'm TJ Kiss.
I am Sonia Harcourt.
I'm Stabby Tech John.
And thank you for taking a controversial walk.
Truck.
Please don't get mad at us.
Thank you for not taking my balls.
And a very uncomfortable ending.
The Stabby Road podcast was created by Joe Senna, hosted by Rob Graydon, Sonia Harcourt, and Joe Senna. Recording technicians Josh Graydon and Eric Todd. The Stabby Road podcast is a production of Fourth Castle. All rights reserved. See you next week.